Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel once again, and this is going to be another wrestling match review. So, we're continuing our look at Survivor Series matches. Matches that happen at Survivor Series. Or actually both. We're continuing our reviews of Survivor Series matches, and in 2016, WWE brought back the brand split. Raw and SmackDown, which obviously had existed as shows, was just stood there existing as shows, but weren't really designated brands with their own separate rosters and locker rooms. Obviously, around I believe 2002 is when the brand distinction really became apparent, and eventually that also did get dropped by I believe around 2011 or 2012 or so. It slowly started to phase out to a point where brands and brand supremacy wasn't really a thing. They more so just superstars just kind of appeared on either show. But they brought it back in 2016, and so with that, brand warfare was reintroduced. So how would the maiden voyage of brand warfare being reintroduced fare? Let's find out. I'm talking about the men's 5-on-5 Survivor Series match from Survivor Series 2016. As always, I'm not a professional wrestling reviewer, or analyst, or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I definitely, for the most part, had a good time and with this match. This match is definitely one of a lot of people's favorite Survivor Series matches, and it's understandable why. Hey, there's quite a bit here. There's some things that it does that work really well, but there's some things that it doesn't do, but that also works really well. So, what do I mean by that? Let's find out. So let's get right into it. If you've seen this reviews before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about basically what I liked and what I disliked about the match. Starting with what I liked. Right off the bat, and I feel like I'm saying this quite a bit when it comes to these kind of 5-on-5 matches, or these multi-man or even multi-woman matches, but the talent pool. Both teams are stacked for the most part. So Team Smackdown has the phenomenal AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon. And Team Raw has Braun Strowman and Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And so AJ Styles is WWE champion at this point, and Kevin Owens is the Universal Champion at this point. And both teams pretty stacked, pretty nice teams there. Both, and I feel like when it comes to Survivor Series, if you're gonna do the brand warfare aspect of it, and I mentioned before how brand warfare on paper I don't think is bad, but at least make it interesting. Give us a reason to care about it. Just brand supremacy alone isn't quite going to cut it, but instead showcase some of the best from Raw and SmackDown. And I think this team lineup for both teams definitely does that. And of course, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns, top star of Raw, of course, there's the guy, and this was definitely during that Roman Reigns is the guy era, as you can tell from all the lovely chorus of boos every time he gets in the ring. Seth Rollins, this is recently turned face Seth Rollins. Then Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, that awesome dynamic between those two, the friendship of the year is there, and definitely should have been if not the main event of WrestleMania, then at the very least for the Universal Championship, but sadly that didn't quite happen. And of course, Braun Strowman, who had recently broken away from the Wyatt family out on his own, hadn't really gotten that flame under him yet that would make him white hot by next year when he feuded against Roman Reigns, but still kind of in that really trying to find himself as a single star kind of era of Roman. And then of course SmackDown has the phenomenal AJ Styles, who is WWE champion, heel AJ Styles, as WWE champion then, and Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, that duo, alongside Luke Harper, who, spoiler, does make an appearance in this match to help out. Oh, and then of course Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose, former WWE champion, brought the WWE Championship to SmackDown. He and AJ Styles are feuding, and that will definitely play into the match. And then Shane McMahon, because why not? Shane and Stephanie were the commissioners of their respective brands. Shane McMahon was the commissioner for SmackDown, and Stephanie McMahon was the commissioner for Raw. So how this dynamic happened when the brand split first happened was they had a commissioner and a general manager. A little on the redundant side, but okay. So the general manager for SmackDown. So for SmackDown, the commissioner was Shane McMahon, but the general manager was Daniel Bryan. This is first of all short-haired Daniel Bryan, but also this was after Daniel Bryan had retired. So now in this general manager role for SmackDown. Meanwhile, Raw, the commissioner was Stephanie McMahon, and the general manager was Mick Foley. Kind of disappointed that Stephanie didn't insert herself into the women's 5-on-5, but what are you going to do? But yeah, Shane McMahon inserting himself into the match because you tell him he can't be in the match. So right off the bat, at the team dynamics, kind of those combustible elements as well as some actual talent, it is really cool to see, and it does spill over because I mentioned that this match is great for what it does do and what it doesn't do. And what it doesn't do is pretend like the dynamics don't exist. It's including Dean Ambrose not just costing AJ Styles the match after AJ Styles had cost Dean by attacking him, and so they imploded, but also that awesome moment where Dean is being dragged up by security, then Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, who were the last two remaining members for Team Raw after everybody else had been eliminated, helping fight off security, and then the triple powerbomb on AJ Styles through the table, that mini Shield reunion. Ooh, that was so fun. And then there was some interactions with some people who had history, such as Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, which they surprisingly didn't bring up on commentary. And then AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, who they said was the first time they were facing off, and then Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, who did have history, and they did bring that up on commentary, which is nice. And then as well as Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, including a fun moment where Strowman, it looked like Bray was in his ear as Strowman was about to chokeslam Jericho, but nope, instead he goes to attack Bray Wyatt instead. So kind of that intermingling of stories, he's like that interweaving of storylines, I think really it doesn't feel redundant. Like it feels like they are paying attention to continuity, and I think that's the main problem that a lot of people have with doing the brand warfare aspect is have brand warfare, but don't pretend like the canon that you've established, the storylines that you've established, don't pretend like they don't exist. I think them pretending like it doesn't exist and them not acknowledging it at all and kind of putting it on the back burner, I think was and is a lot of people's main problems with brand warfare, at least in terms of Survivor Series. Now, granted, in Survivor Series now, it looks like they're stepping away from that and going more on the route of traditional storylines, culminating in Survivor Series, especially with the addition of War Games. But yeah, that continuity breaks, I think, is what really a lot of people were turned off by it when it comes to Survivor Series, but that's kept here. The action is pretty nice for the most part. Ultimately, Team Smackdown does get the win after Randy takes the spear from Roman, and Bray hits Roman with the Sister Abigail to win, and which was, at least at the time, was surprising that Roman actually took the pin. It wasn't surprising that Roman was the last person remaining for Team Raw, but it was surprising that Roman took the pin. At least I think it had been. I think this is the first time I had actually watched this match in its entirety since I first watched it back in 2016. But yeah, so excuse me. So. Those interlopings of storyline and the action throughout the interactions and just the talent pool, I think, is what really brings this match to life and what people really enjoy about it. Uh, if I did, and there is some funny moments as well. I mentioned the spot with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, but then there's the spot where Braun Strowman gets counted out after James Ellsworth grabs onto Braun Strowman's leg and prevents him from going back in the ring. So Braun Strowman essentially he murders James Ellsworth, plants him through the table that's randomly set up on like the stage, which as you do sometimes. But yeah, so that was pretty funny as well. And James Ellsworth was the official mascot for the match, and the funniest part of kind of the build up, which the build up to this match was also really nice. But a funny moment that reminds me of the build up to this, where they're doing the confrontation between Raw and SmackDown, and Jericho notices Ellsworth is like, whoa, 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 what the hell is that? In response to James Ellsworth, I thought that was pretty funny. Obviously, that doesn't play into the match here, but just another kind of funny moment on top of this. So, yeah, it has quite a bit of stuff going for it. If I did have to find some stuff to dislike when it comes to this match, they are planting the seeds. A lot of these, and actually, I guess this will go back to the stuff I like. They are planting the seeds for stuff in the future. AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose, they mentioned, will face at TLC the next month, and they even say it in like a couple weeks, which is the one where AJ Styles rips his pants. But then there's the story developing with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, including Kevin Owens getting himself DQ'd with the list. He beats, I believe it might have been Shane McMahon, and where he like nailed them repeatedly with the list. It was either Shane or AJ. He repeatedly hit them with the list. And so he gets himself disqualified there, setting up kind of more tension between Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. And so, some nice stories. But now into what I dislike about the match. For starters, there is 4 people on commentary once again. And this is the second Survivor Series review in a row where there's 4 people on commentary. This time it's Michael Cole, JBL, David Otunga, and Corey Graves. And that does get, it doesn't really, thankfully it's not nowhere near as grating as the Michael Cole, JBL, Todd Phillips, and Byron Saxton combination, but it does get kind of tiresome. And Kevin Owens, while it does play into the story, him being eliminated that way, it is a little boneheaded. It's kind of like, is kind of goofy, but it does play into the story, so I'll give it a pass there. But then the other thing we have to mention is that spear, the one to Shane McMahon where he's coming off the top rope. You thought I forgot about it, didn't you? But yeah. So as Shane McMahon is about to hit the coast to coast on Roman nails him with the spear, and Shane McMahon legitimately got concussed from that spot, and it is a scary looking spot. It looked like, I think what might have happened is Roman might have went for the spear a little too late and caught Shane, and Shane caused Shane to take the bump. But yeah, Shane is out. He has a kind of glassy-eyed look, and of course that's kind of just the nature of the wrestling business. Mistakes do happen, and stuff does go awry from time to time. But also good on Randy for comforting Shane's child, Shane's son, in the front row. Which I think I forgot to mention this back in my Fastlane review, how Shane's son is all grown up now. It's crazy, but Randy covering his son, but kind of scary spot there. But that's going to do it for this review and this match. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the match and my review. Did you like to select the match? Did you like to select my review of the match? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.